Good morning. I have something to say because I do. And I'm going to welcome Carolyn in a minute. So let's get started. Hey. What's up, people? Hello, Chandra. Hello, Jenny. Hello, my dear friend Salute. Hello, Jerry. I'm waiting on Carolyn to show up. I think she wanted to get some coffee. She was running a little bit late. So, hey, Lisa, Maddie, Brown, what's up? What's up? So today we're going to have an interesting conversation. It's if she can show up, I think she will. Hey, Bruce, how's it going? Hey, Christine, how's it going? Hey, Bo, how's it going? Thanks for checking on me. Really appreciate it more than you know. So today I just wanted to have a conversation with Carolyn, and I believe she'll be here soon. So we talked about today the power of observation, the power of taking it all in, the power about refreshing your batteries, the power about just being still in the moment. And let me see. Carolyn is here in the preview room. Let me see. Hold on. So she's in the preview room, but I don't see her anywhere. So maybe we can get this. There she is. Hey!
Hi, I'm glad you found me out there.
I was just having to soft shoe around. So how you doing today?
I'm good today, thanks. How about you?
Good. So
Good.
I'm really glad you are here. So
Me too.
what I want to do today is something impromptu.
Okay.
I know. You get to ask a question, I'll answer it. I get to ask a question, you'll answer it. And we're just going to go till we talked about an hour.
Okay. I'm up for it.
You first.
So do we have any specific topics we're supposed to stick to? It's a
Nope.
no holds bar interview.
Aphasia, goals, dreams, aspirations.
Got it. I know what I want to ask.
Okay.
So I know at a certain age, I forget, but it was very young, you wrote your creed.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, what did you envision yourself doing with your life?
Well, not what my dad wanted me to do.
What was that?
Well, he wanted me to go to college and get a degree in accounting. No. So I went to college and went to my first accounting class. I couldn't figure out what positive and negative was. So I just abandoned the class and didn't go, and dropped out of school and went to work.
Wow.
And my first job was in car sales and and insurance sales, and I just loved it. And everybody's saying hello to you, Carolyn.
Hi guys. Hi Brad, Leslie, Cheryl, Salute, Michelle, everyone else. I didn't see.
So
that's a cool story.
You know, I had sold books my senior year in high school for a summer job.
Okay.
And I loved it. And I was very privileged to go to a great sales school where I got introduced to Augmendino and people like Norman Vincent Peale, just people that inspired me to want to read more, learn more, do more. I just very early age. And then I had my grandfather who had been my mentor for years, and he taught me drink from good books, get intoxicated on wisdom. He gave me a book on military code of conduct. So it was after reading that book that I decided to go write my own creed.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the pre-creed story.
Yeah, that was it. So my turn. My turn. Why did you decide to launch your talk show on Tuesday? Because it's so freaking good.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So tell me more.
Well, I guess the idea that you could have a talk show came from you and your community, like that people on their own could, sorry, I hope my husband will get that people on their own could share what they have to say. It's my mother.
Well, I wish I could get a call for my mother. So
I know I'm going to let it go to message, but so that's where the idea came from. But then I've been having a big fight with myself over like imposter syndrome forever. Even
what do you mean?
What you know what imposter syndrome is?
No.
So it's when it happens a lot to very educated women. Because what happens is the more you learn about something, the more you realize you don't know. And so you start to think that you don't know enough to do things. And so you feel like an imposter, like you're playing expert, but you don't feel like you really are one. And so that held me back for a long time with a lot of professional ideas I had. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I knew enough. All this. So the thing that got me outside of myself to start sharing my Tuesday talks was I got really mad about a post I saw online.
Yes.
And that was my first one, though it wasn't officially a Tuesday talk. I didn't know I was going to continue, right? But I just had to speak out about this speech pathologist who told this woman, if you want your father to continue with me, you have to bring me research evidence that he can continue to improve after 6 months. And I was like, what? So I went off on that topic. And then I was like, maybe I'll do it again and, plan a topic ahead instead of reacting to something. And so now tomorrow will be my 11th week.
Wow. You're doing so good. So we all want to thank you for the valuable contribution you made. So I'm just proud of that. And I pushed you a little bit to do that because I thought you had a lot to say, And
my husband would agree with you. I have a lot.
Your turn.
Okay. So, how long, this is not really the question, but I just want to know this before I ask the actual question. How long between your stroke and you getting back into doing your morning coffee shows?
Well, live or not live?
Okay, so maybe this is a question. So tell me about your morning coffee before the stroke. Okay. You had the stroke, and then how did you start it back up?
We started morning coffee on a whim in my living room in Chattanooga, Tennessee. John Hoppy and I John was still my best friend, was my videographer for years. And I said, John, come to the house. And he said, what? Just come to the house. Paul, it's break a day. Just come to the house. Bring your film equipment. I have an idea. That before Facebook was even started. And I said, set your camera up in the living room. I have an idea called Morning Coffee with Paul. And he said, what do you have planned? I said, I have no idea. So I had an orange. Let me get it. Hold 1 second. Paul.
Okay, we get props. Props to Paul. He always comes out with signs and things you never expect. I feel like I match his painting today. I could camouflage myself in that painting.
Okay. Now, so I turned, John turned the camera on. There was you had to display it Flash. You remember Flash years ago? And it would buffer and just spit up. It was horrible. But I took this orange. I said, today, I want to welcome you to morning coffee. Have you ever looked at your life like an orange? You have to get every single ounce of this juice out of this orange. Many people take this orange and they peel it slowly, and then they take a little bit. I like to take it this way. Bite the devil out of these oranges. Get the juice out of the orange. Chew it and chew it and chew it until it's gone, and then get some more. That's where my first morning coffee was.
What'd you do with the peel?
I'm eating it.
Okay.
Next question. You asked.
Well, I asked how it started and then what happened after the stroke.
Well, we did 5,389 morning coffees in a row before my stroke.
That's a lot.
Every day.
None of them were planned?
No, I never did a plan. I never used a note in my presentation at all. Still don't. So that was the first. And then when I had my stroke, it became a more difficult situation because I just couldn't get the words to come to my mouth. I would try and try and try. And to be honest with you, Carolyn, it was very frustrating but it was very fulfilling because my mom, before she died, called me every evening and said, plan your morning coffee. I don't care how long it takes, just post it tomorrow. So I posted my first 118 takes to say a minute and a half.
Wow. Oh, so you recorded them.
Over and over and over. I couldn't even get, I would say, good morning. I stopped. I just couldn't get the words to my mouth. So it became very frustrating and very fulfilling because all of a sudden I was learning new words. The fact that I had to felt like I had promised my mom, we were a promise keeping family. You didn't disappoint my mom. That was not, nope. So I had to do it. And it became the best practice ever.
Yeah.
And then one day, somebody asked me, why don't you try live? I said, no, are you crazy? I have a stroke. I have aphasia. I would get stuck. I wouldn't be able to say a word. And a good friend of mine said, I believe you not only can do it, you can do it better live. So Morning Coffee Live was launched about 7 months ago and been doing it ever since.
So 7 months ago is how long after your stroke?
No, 7 months ago, I had my first morning coffee was August 6th, 2018.
And that was
take after take. 7 months ago, I launched Morning Coffee Live.
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
That's a great story.
Oh,
okay.
Hello, beautiful people. Laura said hello.
Hello, beautiful Laura. And Chandra and Bruce and
yes,
Marcelo and Christine and RJ.
You have let the cat out of the tree. Oh, no.
That's good.
Out of the tree.
Yeah, cats don't want to come down. He's saying you have the gift of gab. You could talk that cat right down.
Oh, got it. That's funny.
I don't know. We make fun of Jerry for eating the broccoli. I think you're going to be like Orange Peel Boy now.
Oh, I love it. You have to get every ounce out of that orange you can because you only live once.
But I don't want to live to eat the peel.
The peel is the best part. It is.
Okay, I'm going to do that from now on. My fingers are not crossed behind
Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What's the first goal you remember setting and reaching that you were ecstatic about?
For myself?
Mm-hmm. It's about you, Carolyn.
Oh my God. I don't know. Well, so
yeah.
Can I tell you? Okay, so when I was a kid.
You were a kid?
I really thought, like, to prove to the teachers that you knew something, you had to be perfect. And so I thought you had to get 100 on everything. And so that's what I did. But that was my goal. And everyone told me that was a bad goal because I was stressing myself so much for perfection that I was making myself sick. And so my mother and my teachers conspired against me with my favorite, my very, very favorite delicacy, which was at the time Hershey Kisses.
Oh my! Listen, you talking Laura's business now. She'll eat anything that's chocolate, anything that's sweet. Laura loves it.
So they were trying to teach me to let go of perfectionism because that was my goal. And it wasn't the healthiest goal for like a 10-year-old, you know, or anyone really. Perfectionism is not the outcome I seek anymore. It's good enough. But anyway, so what they did was they gave me a Hershey Kiss for every point under 100. So if I got 96, they'd give me 4 Hershey Kisses.
So you started missing on purpose?
Never. But if I did miss, it would soothe me.
That's so funny. You know, one of the things I can tell you about goals, reward and consequence is so important. My goal is, I believe perfection should be sought, but excellence should be tolerated.
I've had to like bring it down for my own personal self because I was losing my sanity over it. So, you know, it just became to do well and to have a balance.
You know, for me, you know, I just, I had a lot of teachers that taught me in sports, like practice not till you get it right, practice till you never get it wrong. And I followed that into business. You know, I just relentlessly practice and practice and practice. It's a good thing. It worked out for me that I love to practice when I have my stroke. So next question.
Okay. So I'm curious how you feel you would have reacted in the hospital, because I know you were very much adamant that you were going to get better and that this was not going to be a permanent situation. So how would you have reacted to what a lot of people try to do now and send in aphasia ambassadors into the hospital to show people that you can still live a life with aphasia? But I don't know what the right stage of acceptance is for something like that.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? You obviously, don't take it wrong, you don't know my story in the first 2 weeks. I was anything but okay.
Right. And a lot of people.
I wasn't okay at all. And we couldn't get any information. We left that hospital not only uninformed with bad information. And I thought I had an appointment set at Shepherd Center. We went over there. They didn't know me from Adam's house cat. And we sat in the lobby for 2 hours. They sent an intern in here to talk to me and said, I'm supposed to talk to somebody about something about aphasia. I said, I couldn't say a word. You can imagine that. And I looked at my 2 sons, and I looked at Chris, I looked at Ryan, and I said, that meant out. So I would have loved it if I had an ambassador to tell me anything.
Oh, okay.
I would have loved it, because part of the problem, I believe this needs to be given to everybody in the hospital. You know, I didn't even know what an ischemic stroke was or the hemorrhagic stroke was. They couldn't explain aphasia. It's like, I still remember the speech pathologist coming into, but before we get to aphasia, we have to find out if you can swallow or not. And I'm thinking to myself, swallow this. Because I'm not happy.
Yeah, the swallow for some people can be a big emergency because we want to make sure you're safe in terms of not getting pneumonia or something.
No, it's not your fault. I just the information came so random. Some guy would come in and say this, and he would explain aphasia not well. Somebody came in, you have to take a swallow test. Hold on. What is the diagnosis? I couldn't even say it. I was doing this all the time.
Right. So there was no continuity.
No. It was stroke hospital.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Okay, because I thought because you were so upset about the diagnosis that you might not have been ready to accept someone to come in and tell you this might be your future with aphasia.
Well, if they had painted a bright future, I would have been fine, but not coming in doing a Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
But, I just was misinformed and not well informed at the same time. I would have loved it. My answer, I think it would provided me great comfort in knowing what the future was. Okay, I can't hear you.
No, I was telling my son to grab that phone since it keeps ringing.
Okay.
But I didn't want to interrupt you. So, yeah. So if somebody, no, give it to Daddy so it's away from here. So if somebody like you or Jerry came to visit you,
I loved it.
You would have loved it. Okay.
Oh, I would have loved it.
Even early on?
Yes.
Okay.
For instance, my good friend Phil Wade, and I had on my show, world-class musician, doctorate. He came to the hospital 4 days in, did some research on aphasia, and he is the first person that told me, listen, you will learn to talk. And instead of selling sales training or leadership training all over the world, you're going to spread hope all over the world. This is your most important work. Your life is not over. Your life is just beginning anew. How did that make me feel? Outstanding. I'm telling you, if he didn't come into that hospital, everybody was looking at me like this. You ready?
Poor Paul.
All my kids. And I can see them staring, looking at each other. The doctors in there talking, your dad's never going to be the same. And I could hear them whispering, people with aphasia have their intellect intact. Carolyn, you know that.
Yeah.
And that's was just so disconcerting to me, because I just wanted to talk and I just wanted to tell my family. I couldn't even say I love them. I didn't even remember my kids' names. At all. In fact, I knew I had 5 kids, but I couldn't remember boys or girls.
Mm-hmm.
Just
those opposite words can be so hard. Yeah.
Yep. Confused. So let me ask you a question. By the way, we have already exceeded 100 comments.
All right.
Yeah, so
thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Are there any questions for us?
Well, you can bring more to the party. I have a question for you. You ready?
Yep.
What's your main goal moving forward to have an effect on aphasia?
My main goal now has so evolved because obviously I went the traditional route of school. I counted, I did 28 years of school. So I thought for sure I was going to stay in academia and be a professor, researcher.
I love that word, academia. So fancy.
Sounds like a nut.
I know. It does.
Yeah, I'm an academia nut. But anyway, so when I realized that parts of that just don't fit me at all, they don't suit my work style or my personality, I kind of had a little bit of like, what did I waste all that time for? So now I think I let it sit for a while, and I do still teach. I teach part-time at NYU, and I have private clients. But what I started to think of was there's a lot more that needs to happen, but it's like outside the box that academia makes you do it in. And it also took me a while to say, you know what, if people from inside academia think what I'm doing is like weird or not normal or whatever, that's okay. They can think that, but I
just send them an orange.
I'm like, I hang out with this guy now and he eats the peel, so I'm normal.
Yes. You know
so
what?
Now my goal is to do things that I think are needed, but that don't fit in the style of academic research, and maybe they could be researched after the fact. But I think it's time to go direct to the people and do things and see if they work, and then maybe we could let people study it. You know, if it does work.
Can I say something to you?
It was my turn, but okay.
No. I just wanted to pay you a compliment.
Thank you.
Since I met you, you have come out of your shell, and it's nice to see.
Thank you.
You have so much to offer, all of them. Carla said Paul was Kayla's aphasia ambassador. She saw his morning coffee videos and showed me and said, "See, Mom, he's like me. He's learning to talk."
That's amazing. So even in an unofficial capacity, you have served that role, and Tom Broussard served it for you. Yes. But I always thought that it would be nice to have, and some places do this, they have very well-recovered, positive people with aphasia come in and visit their current stroke patients. But I think that could be a more widely spread program. So
yeah. Rebecca, by the way, met me when I first came to speech therapy. She had a little bitty shop, and I walked up to her, and I couldn't talk. I was pointing at this shirt she had on, and she was pointing at my shirt, and I was wearing my It All Matters t-shirt, and she pointed at so I got her one and got her a book, and she was so nice to me. She made all the difference on earth to me because I couldn't talk, and she was so kind, so loving, wonderful sense of humor, and she has no idea how much she made a difference to me, because I was a little bit lost, and I just wanted to give that shout out to my good friend Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca. So, by the way, Laura, the pill thing is so, hey, get the pill, put it in your mouth, chew it till you nonstop get all the juice out. What's the point?
I don't know. If the goal is to get the juice out, the peel has nothing to do with that.
Hey, we love your live show. Carolyn, and yours, Mr.
Thank
Paul.
you,
Mr.
Jerry.
Paul. Hey, Jerry, you got it going on, baby.
We love your show too.
We do. Jerry's world class. He's such a superstar, just unbelievable. What did Rebecca say? Oh, that's not Rebecca. I love that you're doing this. It's benefits me knowing I'm not alone. I don't know anyone that has it before you. Aw.
Yeah, that has to stop. Everyone has to find their people.
Yep.
Because it seems. Wait, whose turn is it to ask a question now?
Well, my turn.
Oh, you sure?
I don't know. I have Aphasia.
No, you asked me my goal. Now.
Oh yeah, your turn.
Oh no, you asked me about my Tuesday talk. Something, whatever. My turn.
Okay.
So my question is, it was in my head and now it's gone. Oh, hate that. Okay, so you told a story the other day about the Tpa mistake and how you could have had Tpa if they had had the proper information.
Yep. Bad information is to bad treatment.
Yeah. And so for those of you who may not know what that is, TPA is tissue plasminogen activator, which basically is a clot buster. And
say it again, please.
Tissue plasminogen activator.
Okay.
TPA.
Clot buster. Okay.
Clot buster. And it can be given within a certain window of time after a stroke. It's 3 to 4 hours, depending. Some people are moving it up to 6, but basically it's a 3-hour thing. So when they didn't know, hi Lisa, when they didn't know what time you had your stroke, and they assumed it happened sometime overnight, they couldn't place the 3 hours.
Right.
Okay. So given that situation, how do you think we can prevent things like that from happening in the future?
Well, I don't know, because you know what was crazy? The only person that went in the hospital with me wasn't there.
And that was the caregiver for your parents?
No, I'd rather not say. But the only person that went in the hospital wasn't there when I had my stroke.
Oh, I think I can figure out who it is. Okay.
Wasn't there. And he said, I have no evidence that he was up.
Right. So that means it could have been all night that you had the stroke and the 3 hours.
I didn't know that for a year. Till we started filming our documentary, and it happened in real time. You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, how can we prevent that?
I don't know, because, well, first of all, when you have aphasia and you're unable to talk, you can't say.
Right.
Second of all, I couldn't have predicted I'm going to have a stroke, but I've been up. So, and I couldn't predict who was going to the hospital with me. You have to understand, my mom was in the, my dad was in the care of the caretaker. He had dementia, couldn't walk, couldn't talk, you know. My mom was not ambulatory. She couldn't walk. So somebody had to go stay with my mom. So I had nobody to go with me, and said probably the stress involved and all that, didn't want to give the wrong information.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to think it was just that, you know?
Yeah. But I wonder, you know, if that happens to
I don't know.
All per year. And I'm wondering, we teach people the signs of a stroke and things like that, but maybe we need to teach people the next step, which is if you're sending someone to the hospital who can't communicate, send a timeline with them.
Exactly. Bingo. Thank you very much. I couldn't think of that, but when I was airlifted to the other hospital, I'm telling you, when I was airlifted, when my daughter met me at the hospital, she said, "Oh, my dad was up. I talked to my grandma." No, and she said, the doctor said, "Your dad couldn't possibly have been up. He slept through the night. We had my dad was up making coffee for my mom."
Right.
Well, that was 4 hours and 35 minutes after I had my stroke. Mm-hmm. They couldn't give me the shot.
No. Ugh. And the reason that they can't give the shot for anyone who's like, well, I don't know. I'll tell you, is that after that period, you can cause a hemorrhagic stroke with it because it'll thin out too much. They don't know that the blood clot is still patent at that point. And so you might not be busting a clot, but just making all of the blood easier to break through the blood vessels. And
I was off my Eliquis for 5 days because of a dental procedure. And they didn't want to deal with the blood. And I should have never been taken off that.
No.
Mm-hmm. So that was another subject for another day. But, Carolyn, the bottom line is somebody should have asked more questions, been...
they could have called your house and talked to the caregiver, something. Yeah. Yep. I feel like more investigation. It is now, but I'm just thinking ahead, like for other people and stuff like that. They really should learn from these kinds of errors,
Exactly. I couldn't blame the hospital.
Right. It was miscommunication.
They were just dealing with what they've been presented. So, but I was told that they were out of the shot. Yeah. My kids were told they were out of the shot. And we operated with that belief for a year.
That's so crazy. Yeah, somehow the story got transmuted and
it did.
But so I think that that's another thing people should be thinking about when they're talking about teaching people to recognize a stroke and get to the hospital right away. We're missing a piece of like writing down all the information too, They
didn't even know my medicine. They didn't know anything, and I was trying to tell them my medicine was in my bag, but I couldn't.
You couldn't, right?
Like this, pointing, and it just was crazy,
So Janice is saying they have to listen to the person who knows. Yep.
Exactly. So maybe Kimmy says, so maybe it was better that I was in a coma and unresponsive at the beginning. I don't know about that, Kimmy, but
I like she puts a positive spin on everything.
I know. I'm telling you, she is so good. And I just love having her on this morning coffee. She says the best things every day. Just bless her heart for how much she has fought through all the things she has been through. How frustrating for you, Paul? You can say that. Janice, you can say that. How frustrating for me. It was.
The good news is you're doing really well now, and life is looking up.
Well, yeah, I think Laura coming along has brightened my life in more ways than you can count. And I'm happy to have her in my life, and God is good, And I'm going to ask you a question. My turn, right?
Yep.
Do you recommend this book?
So I remember the first time I saw that book was when you showed it. So no, I've never recommended it. I don't know that it would be the right book for everyone, but knowing you now, it really is the right book for you. Here's when I know similar books, but not that one. Laura's like, that book is crazy.
What's crazy, it is, but what's crazy about used, it cost $160. New is $260.
Wowzers.
On Amazon.
So for people who are as self-directed as you and self-actuating in terms of like making your own therapies and doing it all the time and things like that, resources like that are excellent. And there are different ones. But for a lot of people, especially you got that pretty early on, right?
Yes. I got this at 7 weeks in and managed to write all 40,000 words in my handwriting over the next year. I couldn't say them all, but I traced them. But yeah, crazy.
So, for some people that might look really overwhelming and they might be better getting a page or, a list of words per week or something like that. But I think the idea of like giving someone like you, like we can tackle all of this, you're like, hell yeah, whereas a lot of people would be like, oh my God, I can't do that. So you have to tailor it to the person.
For me, that wasn't suggested I do that. It was just suggested as a resource. My speech teacher, Christine, suggested that, but she recognized very quickly, if you hand me something, I'm going to delve into it. And she said, looking back, she said, oh my God, that was like giving meth to a crack addict. I was worried about you not sleeping. I was worried about you not drinking water. All you did was trace those books over and over and over again. So, yeah, maybe it's a little bit crazy to give it to me. I don't know.
Yeah, which harkens back to my original issue where I had to be a perfectionist and study until I got 100 on every test, That's not necessary for major improvement and stuff. But for someone like you, maybe it was just what you needed. So
I don't know, but Tom Broussard was a great benefit to me because I saw him talking. I said, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. Progress is so important to get a glimpse of.
Right.
Sharon said they need to listen to the patient even if we can't talk. We could point and gestures like you trying to tell them that you had your pills in your bag.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I just think people get impatient, which is not good.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I think. I think I've seen that.
Can I ask you a follow-up question?
Mm-hmm.
Why do people get so impatient with people that have aphasia?
I don't know. I wonder, it depends, I think, on the relationship you have with the person with aphasia. So I could see people like close family members and friends thinking they're being encouraging by saying, come on, I know you can do it and stuff like that. You're the best talker I've ever met. You'll get this, just, and push you right then and there when you might need time. And then I can see other people like professionals who have to go about and see 12 other patients that morning, just feeling like they don't have the time. So I'm sure it's different for each different relationship. But overall, I feel like people with communication disorders are very discounted. I've seen a lot of my patients who had many different disorders tell me that like they could sit in a mall, like right in the middle, and people wouldn't even notice them, like they're invisible. So it's not good.
Yvonne, I said Yvonne.
Wow.
Yvonne, I think there are too many holes with aphasia. You have to start from the very beginning. I don't know what she's saying about too many holes.
I'm wondering if she means in the continuity of care, so that from the the whole system needs to change from the very beginning when a patient is first brought to the hospital with aphasia, all the way through. Yeah. I wonder, it could be that, or else it could be in treatment, something about treatment, that it's not building and stepping stones off of.
Well, just think about what made you mad. What got you to respond? A certified speech pathologist said, bring me evidence that the person, your dad, can learn after 6 months. That's such horseshit.
It is. I got really mad about that.
I know. We had talked about that before. So
this is interesting. Go ahead. Sorry. I want to read Sharon's comment after.
Go ahead.
She says that pushing and encouraging can make it harder for people to get their words out. So when you put that pressure on someone, like, come on, you can do it, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes people then can't do it because it's such a demand, and they put so much mental pressure on themselves that it just stops the flow. Whereas it might come out very naturally if you're just having a relaxed conversation. Yeah. So that's another thing that has to be balanced, right? Is your expectations for someone. Like, you have to have high expectations and tell people you believe in them. But one thing I learned when teaching kids a long time ago was never to tell them, come on, this one's easy. Because then what if they can't get it out? Then what are you saying? I can't do the easy stuff. How am I supposed to do the hard stuff, right?
Wow. Yeah. You know, that's a really valid point, because I looked at it very simply. Daily goals. You know, if I could learn 5 words with clarity, that was like Christmas to me. And I just kept increasing it a little bit and saying phrases. But progress is such an important part of getting a glimpse of progress, because it's easy to get discouraged. It is. It's easy to think, I'm going to be like this forever. And I can say that I said that. I'm going to be like this forever in my mind. Oh my God, I'm going to be like this forever. It was about a month when my mother said those famous words, suck it up, buttercup. And practice. You were not born to be average. You were born to be outstanding. So do the work. And she hung up on me.
Go, Mom.
Yeah, she was the best. One other question that I want to ask, we're going to run a little bit over. You know, it's been said that if you met one person with aphasia, you met one person with aphasia, because everybody's different. So how could we possibly design a treatment for everybody? I don't think we can, but I think what we can do is provide good information, good resources, and encouragement along the way. That's something we can do. You know, if you look at Casey had speech therapy for a year.
Oh, really?
She could say about 8 words when I met her. She's up to 800 now. And the difference, I can't teach people how to speak. I have no clinical reasoning to do that. But what I can do is encourage people to learn and have fun while learning. And that seems to make all the difference on earth.
Right.
Because it's fun to work with Casey. It's fun to work with Michelle. It's fun to work with Kayla. It's fun to work with Alex. It's fun to work.
And I'm sure they feel that way too, which is very motivating for them.
So what do we do about this? If you met one person with aphasia, you met one person with aphasia.
So I think that to some extent that is true, but there are some overarching things within aphasia that are common to most types of aphasia. For example, the word finding deficits. So there are some general principles that should work with any type of aphasia. Mm-hmm. And then there are different approaches that are really good to tailor towards different types of aphasia. But I think there's some room for an overall approach at first, and then a narrow down and tweaking of what the person needs once they've developed as far as they can come with an overall approach. So I think at first there is a lot that's in common.
So how much, your question. I just love talking to you. Kayla said, when I see Kayla getting frustrated, trying to say something, I asked her if she wants to come back to it in a little bit. She usually can figure it out in a little while, and then we can continue the conversation. And Bo said, yes, good to have fun while you're learning. And sometimes, Paul, you learn to say some pretty awesome jokes too. I can't tell that joke you shared with me on TV or Facebook. I would get thrown off forever and banned. But it was funny as.
Mm-hmm. But I think Carla talking about Kayla getting frustrated and circling back to things later. I think that can be a really good technique. Some people freak out. They're like, I want to say it now. And so it's got to be individualized to the person that you're talking to, and also how important that particular message is. Because if their message is, there's a fire over there, they need to tell it to you now, but some things can wait, right? And so to help the person decide, like, do we push for it now, or can you show me in another way without words, or something like that? Depends on the person and the situation and your relationship with the person.
Yeah. Can you answer that question? Because I have no clue.
Sure. So yes, we know that most people have language on their left side of their brain. So if you have a left-sided stroke, you'll likely have aphasia. So he can't find that much study about right-sided strokes to understand its effects on cognition. So first off, the right side has less language typically in it, and the types of language problems you would get after a right-sided stroke are not noticed as frequently. So a lot of people get discharged with right-sided strokes without about people realizing that there are some language deficits, because it might be more subtle. It might be things like not being able to say your automatic speech, or understanding proverbs, or picking up on emotions, things like that. It is much less studied, and you're right for not being able to find the articles on it, because people get discharged because they can answer regular questions, and all the concrete stuff is you're able to answer. But if you delve deeper, there's problems with like social interaction and things like that. And then, yeah, there's some cognitive issues that can happen and some perceptual deficits. But I always recommend, if you want to find research, to use Google Scholar. And then
Say it again, Google.
If you write Google space Scholar,
Okay.
in your search engine, then what will happen is you'll get like a thing like in blue that says Google Scholar. And then when you click on that, you're in a different search engine within Google, which is an academic search engine.
Who knew? Thank you.
So if you're looking for academic papers, to go there. And then once you type in your like right hemisphere language or right hemisphere cognition or whatever after stroke, for example, you'll get a list of articles, and you can read all the abstracts, but a lot of them will have a link to the full article if it was funded by the government. And for any articles that you can't get because they weren't funded by the government, you can usually find it another way. So if that happens to you, let me know, and I can give you some pointers on how to find it. Usually it's on the professor's website, or I can get it from the NYU library, unless, I'm getting 25 requests a day. But, so I can get pretty much anything. So if there's something you're looking for, Paul, but I would suggest starting with Google Scholar, because even sometimes the abstracts are really helpful because they summarize the research contained in that paper.
Perfect. So you get to ask one more question, and I get to ask one more question. So go.
Okay. So what is your biggest hope in having developed this aphasia community? What's your big why for developing a community?
Well, we've talked. I believe that's really important, that we give people their value back.
Right.
And it's really important. I believe, can you believe it? I was turned down for like loading groceries at a Publix job when they hire people with disabilities. I couldn't talk.
They didn't think you could put groceries in a bag?
Well, they didn't hire me. So anyway, so I believe, I'm glad they didn't, because I decided to do something else. But I believe that we can give people with aphasia, people with strokes, people with TBI, their life back. And we can start a community. Think about it. Are you talented? Of course you are. Anybody with aphasia is talented. Anybody with a stroke is talented. Anybody with a TBI is talented. Just give them their life back. You have value. And I want to promote that value equation through hope, understanding, passion, and enthusiasm, that we can make an impact on the world. And using WUPL, we're about to announce that. So you'll see. And you're involved, so don't roll your eyes.
I'm not rolling them. I'm excited.
It's going to be so good. And we're going to do so much for so many people that's low cost, can be afforded. And, it just pisses me off that people with money, like I had money before I had my stroke, not so much anymore, but before I had my stroke, I could afford to pay for awesome care.
Right.
Awesome, but most people can't. And that shouldn't be that way. I want to do something about that. So.
I love that. And I love me putting the positive spin on when you got rejected from Publix. It's because something better was out there for you and you made something better happen with all of this.
Exactly. And I'm proud of that. So last question for you. Mm-hmm. You ready?
Sure. It's always the last question. Every patient does that to you. Or you probably did it to your doctors too. Everyone the last question as the dude.
Do you have an orange?
I do in my fridge. I'm not doing it. I don't have any oranges.
Why not? Why not? You want to get every ounce out of this orange. I'm not going to make you do that, but I should. Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. What can people with aphasia that lost a little bit of their hope?
Look at Laura. She's like, do it.
Try to get it back. Come on, Carolyn. How can people with aphasia get their hope back?
Well, so I think by being in a community like this, it automatically helps people get their hope back. But what worries me is that we have 2 million people in the United States alone.
I know.
And where are they? So I feel like we have to find them. Oh, goodness. You look like you're eating a pumpkin. Do you bite into pumpkins too?
Nope.
I think we maybe need to challenge our community to. How am I supposed to talk?
Go ahead. I'm eating my orange.
I think we need to challenge ourselves to find more people that need the help. So I'm so distracted.
Go ahead.
So
we need to find more people.
Yeah, because how are people going to get hope if they're home isolated by themselves and depressed? So if some of you still go to speech therapy and you're meeting people in the waiting room, maybe you could, especially if you see them every week at the same time, because that used to happen to me for my patients a lot, to tell them about, things like this and what's working for you. Or I'm, the type that'll go up to someone in the park who's out with their caregiver and be like, there's places where he could go during the day so he's with other people and this, just inform people if you can. And reach out if you're in other groups about stroke, TBI, whatever it is, to tell them, I'm really encouraged by this community. If you want to check it out, things like that.
Thanks very much. I have to answer that question. Yes, I eat the pill.
We know.
But listen, somebody asked me, I hope you watched it, Bo has. I hope it's organic. Listen, let me let you in on a little secret. I'm from Louisiana. Our favorite food is crawfish. We take it out of the muddy pond, cook it, suck the brains, kill me, pinch me, eat me, only in New Orleans. And I don't wash my orange. And I don't know if it's organic or not, but I'm proof that I've lived 64 years.
So if you started young, you probably, built up a really good immune system.
Yes.
Laura's like, you kiss me with that mouth?
Oh, she loves it. She loves it. She loves it.
That's hilarious, Paul. I still think you need, if you're going to tell that story about grabbing all the life out of the orange, you need to do something other than juice, because the juice is not in the peel.
Well, it squirts in your mouth. You put it in your mouth and.
But it does that even if you take the wedges.
Well, no, it's not. It's explosive. No. Don't kiss me. Don't kiss. Listen, I promise you, I'm going to kiss you. And so we have to go. We're talking too late. Sorry, I have to get ready for my show at 9:30. Love you, Salute. Love you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for attending this interesting session.
I think it was the best session because you're so smart and you learned how to eat an orange properly.
They're all here for the orange peel. It's not me.
So, till next time, hope is on the way. Remember, you can not be a victim. You can be a victor over aphasia.
Definitely.
If you want to do the work. Have a nice day. Don't hang up. Let me go. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Now, I sound like you and in